The general theme is how does it feel to be a hypocrite?
Right. Well, he sounds like a royal dirtbag.
I was wrong about something.
Magnificent! Magnificent! Magnificent!
If we can be with ourselves, if we can understand ourselves, we can love.
It's not my fault nobody can understand what you're saying.
Let's go while we're young.
3, 2, 1. Just introduce yourself and tell me what you ate for breakfast.
Hey, good morning. Matt here. Morning here. I believe it's Friday. Wow. Amazing. It's into April. I'm going to share a different screen with you, but right now, hashtag shiny for a chance to win. This very shirt, Be Hope. I believe it's time to really be different. And before I get into that, I really want to address you surveillance cameras out there into my life. And here's what I mean by that. You're engaging with things that you disagree with, and that's your only engagement with me at all. If you want to be influential, if you want me to even give your give weight and give validity to what you are saying, you're going to have to be influential in my life first. That's just reality. By storming in on these things and moments and not having a whole picture, I'm not going to be easily influenced in that manner. And here's what I mean by that. If you're coming in and you're disagreeing with me and that's all that you ever do, you don't care about the schools that I go to and talk to the students, thousands of students for free that I do. If you're not engaging with my kids' birthdays or my grandkids when I post about things like that, if you're doing that, then that's going to be influential. If you're engaging with me in day-to-day real life things, you're going to have influence in my world. I'm going to listen to what you have to say when you send me a message, and I'm going to listen to what you have to say when you comment on things, even if it's not something that I would normally agree with. I'll listen. But if you're going to just sit here and watch for something to disagree with, that, in my opinion, is part of the huge problem that we have in the world today. Hashtag shiny. I'm going to share a different screen here with you. If you did not see the post that I had done yesterday, I'm really not a huge fan of sharing screenshots. I decided I would share this screenshot of a text conversation that I had with a guy, and I want to give you some background on this, okay? I've known this guy for a very long time, probably in the neighborhood of 20 years or so. I would say that, I have his cell phone number, right? We've had conversations back and forth for a very long time, not on a regular basis, but we are in contact every year or so, probably. So there's that. To give context, he actually had posted on social media, and if you know me very well, I don't comment a lot on social media. I probably should, but I will message somebody if I have more questions, or if I don't agree with something, I'll message them directly. That's who I am. That's my style. I don't want to be full of hyperbole and I got you moments and all that kind of stuff. That's for kids. And so I'll message people. So he made a post back as probably real early 2020 or very late 2019. And he was all mad about how, the stock market and all those kinds of things, that was for rich people. Like, the gains that they made was for rich people. It wasn't for common people and things like that. So he had made that comment. And so we had an exchange about that. I disagree. I think that, statistics show that if you're able to invest very minimal amounts that you'll actually do much better performing with smaller amounts than what your Social Security that you put in is. And so I think that there's I don't think that the stock market is just for wealthy people and for rich people. So then he makes a post, and I send him a text. He's freaking out about the stock market crashing, and rightfully so. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be, and you shouldn't be concerned. What I am saying is like, so just a few years ago, you were mad because the stock market was doing so well under the Trump administration. And yes, it was doing very well. And I'll talk about those statistics in a minute. But 2019 was a stellar year for the stock market. And so you have that. And he makes this comment about it crashing. So do you not like the stock market when it's doing well? And you do like, I mean, it's really confusing, right? I mean, I'm obviously being a little silly about it, but the reality is that you either like it or you don't like it. The stock market goes up and down, period. It's a long game, right? And we all know that. As adults, you should know that. And so there's that context to that text message. And what happens is in so many, I mean, I could literally post Monday through Friday screenshots very similar to that on questions that I ask people, and that they freak out and they get mad about it. I don't understand that. I don't like it. I don't understand it. And it's just something that is it's very childish. And when you do that, I'm out. Like, you're not going to influence me when you're acting like that. You're not going to influence me if you're not willing to take in the whole context. So let me give you another piece of this. I got a direct message, and I got it this morning. They sent it sometime in the evening. I guess I didn't look at the timestamp, but and so I got the message this morning, and they were talking about how Trump has been in office as president for some of the biggest stock market crashes, that we've seen. And so I'm going off of memory, but if memory serves, that was when all kinds of COVID things were happening, when the governors had the choice in the states how they were going to close down their states and how all those things were going to happen. If memory serves, the majority of those stock market issues were during that period. Good, bad, or in between, that's still truth. That's still part of context for when you're playing with numbers. Let's talk about the fact of the stock market in 2019. S&P 500, about 28.9%. Its best gain since 2013. The NASDAQ, 35%. Also the biggest performing year since 2013. Just facts. The Dow Jones, so the general stock market that we would call the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, was up 22%, its best year since 2017. So yes, the stock market did phenomenally well in 2019. I'm not talking about an economy. I'm not talking about anything other than specifically the stock market. So we can't, it's my opinion, and I think that it's extremely devastating, and I think it's actually a form of being a totalitarian, that when we don't take in full concepts and we don't give chance for nuance and we don't give chance for complexity of these things that are going on, and I think it's extremely dangerous to do that. That is just my opinion. If you're going to storm out, like a lot of Democrats, I think, did that in the state of Minnesota. They didn't show up for work or something because they weren't happy about, I don't know, something like that. So here's my point. On both sides of the aisle, I think it's garbage. I think that the things that are being done is just not good for most people, period. And it's making us fight. And I think it's a really silly thing. I think that there are people in office, including Mitch McConnell on the Republicans, that have been in office far too long. I think that Trump should have not run for president this last time. I've said that many, many times over the past basically when he announced that he was going to run again for president, I just said, I don't think he should. I don't think that's the best thing for the country. And so there's all those complexities and nuances and the context that I have about it. However, with that said, I did not like the Biden administration. I was vocal about that. I think that they made some awful decisions. I think that I know that many, many Democrats have come out and said, yeah, Biden was not in charge of his faculties, right? I think anybody that's honest could see that from the beginning. And I said it from the beginning that there's things that are off here. And now there's been a ton of evidence that have come out in his own party, in his own circle, that have said that he just, he didn't know what was going on half the time. And I just think that's a really sad thing. Learn the nuance of things, dig into all the different aspects of it. If you want to be a surveillance camera with me, I'm here. I'm here for you, right? If you want to choose to engage on silly things that are negative and in ways, so if you've been a surveillance camera, you've heard me say this. Just because I'm wrong doesn't make you right. And that's the fact. I might be wrong on something in your eyes, but that doesn't make you right. That makes you have an opinion. Leadership is about leading, and there's a lot of people that don't like certain styles of leadership, but as long as they fall within the guidelines of, say, the Constitution, then that's just what we have, and that's what it is. So grow up. Stop using stupid language. Start having civil conversations. If you've been a surveillance camera, you know that for years I've invited you to my house. I mean, like to watch movies outside on the big screen. I've had concerts here for free for people, anybody, and that's what I've done, right? You don't need to compliment me on it. That's not why I do it. But I care about people, actually, not specifically just my own paradigm of people. I care about all sorts of different people, and that's the reality. And that's why that I push through these things like negative texts, and I get them almost every day. And I don't know. I'm sort of going and ranting about this more than I probably should, but these kinds of things, it truly makes me sad. And I think that when we're here as neighbors, why are we so concerned about some of these weird things when there's murderers and rapists and child molesters in our neighborhood, that we're not discussing what to do about that? That's where I'm going to leave it. I hope that y'all have a great weekend. Let's give this shirt away here. All right, Mom. Mom's been giving shirts away for me, so appreciate you, Mom. I have another one to give you. So I hope everybody has a good weekend. Get off the high horse. I mean that seriously. Like, we don't have to agree with each other. We just don't, and that's okay. It doesn't mean if I don't agree with you, it doesn't mean that I hate you. But we can't redefine things just at a whim, and we can't redefine things because we're not happy with the way something is going. Definitions are there for a reason, and it's important that we have some sort of nucleus in defining things that is common ground, and just find that common ground. I will, Lord willing, be here Monday morning again at 6:30. Have a great weekend.
You know what I just saw?
Who is this guy?
I call myself Podcast because of my podcast.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
So it's done.
It's done.